Hi, Nick. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, hi Stuart. Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Good. Yeah, really good. Thank you. So yeah, just a bit of background for this. We're doing some interviews and chats with grassroots volunteers and people involved in grassroots football, specifically talking around football facilities and grass pitches and pitch improvement. And so, yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Would you mind just introducing yourself and your position and which club you're from?
Yeah. So I'm Nick Inwood. I'm involved with Budbrook St Michael's Football Club. In terms of position, I currently hold quite a vast number of positions. So officially, I'm youth secretary and treasurer, but I also manage the club website and social media sites. I'm also involved with the welfare side, so I'm the assistant welfare officer, and I sit on the club committee, and I have a lot to do with sort of developments and improvements and sort of grant access and stuff like that with a club as well. So yeah, got master of yeah, exactly that.
Great stuff. Okay, thank you. And so you obviously talked a lot about the kind of the size of the club already, but do you mind just summarising kind of how many teams you've got, what age groups you have, that sort of thing?
Yeah, no problem. So currently we've got 18 teams. So those teams are representing across 5 different leagues that we're involved in. So that's obviously Northampton Youth League, United Counties League, Northampton's Combination, the Northamptonshire Ladies League, and the I forgot the other one, but yeah. So we're covering across 5 leagues. Our teams range from minis all the way through to open age. So we've currently got 5 open age teams, which includes a ladies team. We do minis coaching on a Saturday morning with a view to developing teams through to an under 7s each year. And we've just started branching out into the girls football. We've got an under 10s girls group that are currently training with a view to going into the girls league for under 11s for next season. And we're also looking to expand out the girls side of the things with the Wildcats. So we've just been accepted as a Wildcat centre, and we're currently looking for some coaches and that to support that. But we're looking to get that up and running in the not too distant future as well.
Fantastic, brilliant. So yeah, sounds like there's lots going on, lots of teams, lots of demand on pitches. So what's the setup as far as where your teams play and what are the pitches like?
So currently, all of our teams play at Budbrook playing fields. So we've got access to 8 various size pitches on the playing fields. We've also got our main facility, which our first team reserves use, along with the under 18s and the ladies team, and some of the youth teams use that as well at various times throughout the season. So in total, we've got 9 pitches that are available to the club. I would say in terms of the current state of the pitches, they're adequate. I guess the challenge is obviously with the volume of teams that we've now got, due to the sort of high demand that we've got on them, that there is room for improvement. And this is something that we have started that program of work, working with obviously yourselves and the Football Foundation via the Grass Pitch Maintenance Fund. And obviously underpinning that is the pitch power assessments that we're started on that journey. So that sort of happened in the last 12 months or so. So it's in its infancy. We obviously recognise that programme is a 6-year programme of work. So we hope to see those improvements year on year. But as I say, the pitches that we've got now, I guess, are adequate. But there's certainly room for improvement.
Great stuff. No, that's really good. And obviously we've met and spoke multiple times now around the sort of the grass pitch maintenance fund and the support that you're getting through that. So that's great. That's really good to hear that. Do you feel that the extra funding and the extra sort of emphasis on the pitches, is that making a difference over the last 12 months or so?
So I'd say certainly made a difference. Obviously, we're only in year 1 of the programme. We've got year 2 funding, which we're due to access in the not too distant future. There's just a couple of bits that we've got to work through in terms of making sure that our volunteers have completed their GMA level 1 course, which we're planning to undertake those in the next couple of weeks. But in terms of the year 1 funding, I would say that we have seen a benefit. So the pitches that the funds actually supports is obviously the outside pitches that we've got at Budbrook. And for the first time since I've been involved, we've been able to work on those, I guess, during the off season. So the pitches have all been treated with weed killer. They've all been overseeded. And in terms of the overseeding, we actually took an approach where we were going to do a double hit. So we only actually applied half the amount of seed that we planned to in the first hit. And that was primarily due to the fact that we've got limited irrigation in terms of what we can get out onto those pitches. And obviously, in hindsight, with the summer as dry as it was probably a good plan, because what it enabled us to do is do a second hit of seed in sort of early September time, when the weather conditions were better and more favourable in terms of getting the grass to grow. So we've certainly seen an improvement in terms of grass coverage. There's probably more that we can do, to try and improve those pitches. And we're sort of looking at the best way to manage that in terms of, obviously, the grant is over 6 years. So is there opportunities potentially to focus on, 3 or 4 of the pitches, during one off season, and then, focus on the other 3 or 4 during the following off season. So over the 6 years, each of the pitches gets the same amount of attention and maintenance, but actually we structure it in a way so that, we can maybe get more for our money in terms of, what we can invest in those. What we've also done this year is we've looked at a number of the pitches where the goal mouse was significantly worse than others. So they dropped down quite a lot because of the use over the years. We've actually focused on those as well to raise the levels of those and get those really improved in terms of the goal areas, which again, it's very noticeable when you go to the club. There was a couple of pitches where the goal mouse were particularly bad. Those pitches now, the goal mouse are a lot better in terms of the quality of the goal mouth, the level with that is with a pitch. And some of what's helped with that as well is that we've also invested through grant support in goals on wheels. So all of our outside pitches now have goals on wheels as opposed to permanent goals. Because what we found is that actually we had a lot of people using our sort of pitches and our facilities during the off season, during summer nights, which is not something that we wanted to stop. But I guess to control that, we've got the goals on wheels now. And what we've also done is put a community goal up, so that effectively that's a goal that has a permanent net on it, and people from the local community come and use that when they see fit. And obviously that doesn't then have a knock-on impact on the quality of our pitches. So there's a lot that we've done in that space, yeah.
So that's fantastic, Nick. Have you who is it who you use as the company to do some of the additional works you spoke about?
Yeah, so over probably the last couple of years, we've started to use Premiership Lawn Care. I know I've got links in with the county FA. We've used those to support the maintenance work on the main pitch initially. So there was some work they did with seeding, and more recently they've supported us with scarification, etc. But we've expanded that relationship now, and we're using them on the outside pitches as well. So we've got a really good working relationship with them. They tend to help us when they can, and they're also very knowledgeable in terms of providing advice and guidance around, the best time to do work and what they can do to improve those pitches.
Great stuff. That's really positive. That's really, really good to hear that relationship's continuing to benefit you. So that's fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Nick. That was everything. So really, really appreciate your time. Thanks very much. And
no worries,
see you
mate.
again soon.
Yeah, cool. Cheers, mate.